A very good afternoon, colleagues, friends, family from the transport and logistics sector and the value chain, and we want to wish you a very happy new year. I don't think we've spoken this year. We are grateful to God for sustaining our lives up to this time and to allow us to carry on the conversation in the transport and logistics sector. The last time we had the webinar was on the 9th of December, and we're going for the holidays. And we're happy that we're back alive and ready to carry forward the land-linked agenda for 2026. My name is Betty from Africa, and on behalf of the Ministry of Transport and Logistics through the Minister's Office, the Zambia Development Agency, who are our partners, the regional partners that have joined, friends from the region that have joined, colleagues. I'd like to also recognize all the speakers for accepting to join us today from your busy schedules. We are grateful. We do not take advantage of the time that you've given to be with us. Colleagues from Africa for really working together to ensure that this day comes to pass. Our moderator, Mr. Msonda, for taking the time to be with us despite the busy schedules. We also have Madam Irene, who's representing the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Transport and who's going to give us a keynote address. I think she has internet challenges, so we will still be able to highlight her once she joins. But in the interest of all our colleagues who've joined us from the region, we just want to say thank you for being with us. You're welcome. Happy New Year. And we want to start the conversation for Land-Linked Zambia 2026. This is the second of the webinars that we've prepared as we prepare for the final event in April. So this is the second webinar, and we are focusing on the Nacala corridor. I will not give so much detail because this is the topic that the experts will go into. And I just want to read out our webinar topic is strengthening the global supply chain through the Nacala corridor. And we've got experts and Nacala itself that have joined us to really talk about the conversations around that corridor. I would like now to Irene is in the room. Okay, Madam Irene from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics from Zambia, representing the Minister and the Permanent Secretary, would like to welcome you and thank you for joining us. So Madam Irene will be the one to give us a keynote perspective, maybe from the Zambia perspective and also the region in what we're doing in terms of transport and logistics development as we push this agenda. We are going to play just a minute video, and from there we'll have Madam Irene as our first speaker. Then from Madam Irene, we invite the moderator, Mr. Feston Sonda, who's going to set the tone and invite and introduce all the speakers. I welcome you all and thank you for joining us this afternoon. Our tech team.
Tanzania, there's a corridor that comes from Mozambique, South Africa, and more corridors from Namibia, Angola, and the DRC. These transport corridors meet in Zambia, presenting numerous trade, business, and investment opportunities for Zambian and SADC-based companies. Don't miss the train. Don't miss LandLink Zambia 2026, a transport and logistics conference and exhibition on 23rd and 24th of April 2026 at Ciela Resort, Lusaka, Zambia. LandLink Zambia 2026 is brought to you by Africast in conjunction with Ministry of Transport and Logistics and industry stakeholders. Email the office at africastzambia.org or call 0955 159945.
Thank you very much. I think we're having a bit of a lapse in time there in terms of the video and the sound. We apologize for that. I'd like to now welcome Madam Irene from the Ministry of Transport and Logistics from Zambia to welcome herself, to welcome the session and be the first speaker. She will introduce herself and her role at the ministry and the position in the sector, so that at least people who are attending can just get to know her better. Madam Irene, you're welcome, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. My name is Irene Tembo. I'm Chief Planner at the Ministry of Transport and Logistics and the coordinator for the Nacala Development Corridor in Zambia. I wish to thank the organizers of this webinar and my fellow panelists. I want to start by outlining Zambia's geographic location. As you know, Zambia is situated strategically in the South Central African region, and we are surrounded by 8 neighboring countries, namely Angola, Botswana, DRC, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe. We also refer to our neighboring countries as being 8+1, as we are only separated from Burundi by an expanse of water, the Lake Tanganyika. Our central geographic location and deliberate government policy is transforming Zambia into a land-linked country and is exposed to multiple import and export trade routes. These routes are designed or designated as regional transport development corridors by the Southern African Development Community. And we have 6 active corridors that traverse the country. Our focus today is on the Nacala Development Corridor. The governments of Mozambique and Malawi signed the Nacala Development Corridor Agreement on 25th September 2000. Later, on 27th February 2003, the Republic of Zambia was incorporated, and the 3 countries signed the agreement on 7th October 2023. The heads of state of Malawi, Mozambique, and Zambia signed the revised Nacala Development Corridor Agreement in Nacala, Mozambique, during the opening of the renovated, extended, and modernized Nacala port in 2023. In addition, the ministers responsible for transport in the republics of Malawi, Mozambique, and Zambia signed the tripartite road and rail transport agreements. The tripartite rail transport agreement was a secondary agreement to the revised Nacala Development Corridor Agreement pursuant to Article 3(4) of the revised agreement. The aim of the agreements were to create an integrated and seamless network for the movement of goods and passengers by road and rail in the 3 member states by addressing the missing transport links among the 3 member states. The other aim was to define the scope of cooperation by promoting the harmonization, streamlining, and simplification of regulations. The overall objective of the Nacala Development Corridor is to promote trade and stimulate economic and social development in the 3 member states, and to enhance partnerships between the public and private sectors. The member states are also desirous to transform the corridor into a development corridor to stimulate investments and encourage sustainable development while ensuring environmental sustainability and also reduce poverty. The scope of the NDC agreement is wide and pertains to the movement of goods and persons within the member states. The parties are mandated to collaborate in matters relating to trade and transport facilitation, including maritime port and dry port facilities and transportation of passengers and goods by rail and road. Therefore, the member states will enhance infrastructure development, facilitate cross-border trade and access to seaports for the landlocked countries, as well as improve the quality and reliability of logistics services. The institutional framework for the Nacala Development Corridor is as follows. We have the Council of Ministers, the Nacala Development Corridor Management Board, the Joint Technical Committee, technical committees, national subcommittees, and the Secretariat. So now I'll look at the tripartite meetings. Ideally, meetings of the Nacala Development Corridor Management Board and the Tripartite Joint Technical Committee are held every 6 months on a rotational basis. The Council of Ministers is held and it is required. So the 10th Tripartite Joint Technical Committee meeting of the Nacala Development Corridor Management Committee was held in Maputo, Mozambique from 15th to 17th December 2025, and this was followed by the Nacala Development Corridor Management Board on 18th December 2025, and the Council of Ministers meeting on the same day. The status of multi-sector activities supporting the development and operationalization of the corridor relating to the following was provided: transport infrastructure, trade facilitation, logistics, border management, and institutional coordination. Though progress was recorded in selected areas, implementation remained uneven across sectors and member states. There was limited coordination among key agencies, resulting in delays and increased transaction costs. The cluster approach adopted by the 3 member states was reaffirmed as a critical mechanism for addressing sector-specific constraints, promoting investment, and supporting value chain development. However, implementation of cluster activities was slow due to a number of factors, including limited technical capacity, financing, and insufficient engagement of the private sector. One-stop border posts. This approach was progressing well, with 6 priority OSBPs identified, including the Kasakatiza Chanida, which is on the Mozambique and Zambian border, and the Muchinji Mwami, which is a border between Malawi and Zambia. Most of the OSBPs were funded by the World Bank and the African Development Bank. The Kasakatiza Chanida OSBP will be done through a PPP arrangement. We have the establishment of the NDC Secretariat. The Executive Director was appointed by the Council of Ministers at their last meeting. Some senior positions have also been filled. The recruitment of a senior specialist for private sector investment promotion will be done in the first quarter of 2026. The headquarters of the NDC Secretariat will be in Tete, that's in Mozambique. Then we'll look at railway operations on the Nacala corridor. An overview was provided by Nacala Logistics, who also highlighted the competitiveness of the Port of Nacala due to its natural deep water harbor, modern handling equipment, expanding capacity, and ongoing digitalization. The need for railway operations to extend to Chipata was overemphasized. Zambia Railways Limited has been in talks with relevant stakeholders to ensure that this is done. At the Council of Ministers meeting, an MOU to develop the Chipata-Serenge railway line was signed among the 3 member states of the Nacala Development Corridor and the Democratic Republic of Congo. The DRC attended the meeting as an observer. The DRC highlighted the importance of the Katanga mining basin, rich in copper, cobalt, and other strategic minerals, and outlined its planned investments in rehabilitating and modernizing railway and logistics infrastructure through upgrading cross-border routes to improve connectivity with major regional corridors. Then we'll look at the development of the Chipata dry port. Zambia highlighted its plans to develop and operationalize the Chipata dry port due to its strategic position in the Nacala as well as the Beira corridor. The dry port has the potential to serve as a major agro-export and logistics hub for Eastern Province and Malawi, as well as Mozambique. The dry port will have modern cargo handling equipment, cold chain storage, warehousing and container freight facilities, and digitalization and automated operations. JICA and the EU have expressed interest to develop the Chipata dry port. As I conclude, I want to reaffirm the Zambian government's commitment to the development of the Nacala Development Corridor to promote regional integration, trade facilitation, and socio-economic development. The OSBPs are enhancing border efficiency through reduced clearance times and improved operating conditions for businesses, transporters, and local communities. Member states are, however, urged to ensure security and safety along the corridor, as well as market the Nacala corridor in order to promote it. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Irene, for those welcoming remarks. And we just want to share the information with the rest of the members that have joined in. We will email her presentation. Due to time, she was unable to beam it, but we shall be able to share. And I just want to say thank you, Madam Irene, for those insights. And obviously to just say thank you to JICA and EU for the intended support. I'm sure her opening remarks will also steer the conversations and allow me at this time to welcome our moderator, who is no stranger in the transport and logistics and the supporter of LandLink Zambia since its inception. Allow me to welcome Mr. Feston Sonda, wearing many hats, but I'll allow him to introduce himself. Least I forget one hat that he wears. So it's my honor to introduce our moderator for this afternoon, Mr. Feston Sonda. Please take it up, introduce yourself and the panel, and please take us through this afternoon's webinar. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks a lot, Ms. Director of Ceremonies, and also we're quite happy with the comments, sentiments, and presentation, at least from Madam Irene there, highlighting the importance of the global supply chain vis-a-vis how also bringing Zambia, being linked through us and also via Zambia. A lot is happening in terms of logistics, as you may know it. Just for us to set off, I think I wish to invite our panel to do a self-introduction. My name is Festo Msonda, as already introduced. I'm the president and chairman for the Sub-Sahara Gemstone Exchange Industrial Park in Ndola. As we say, among other hats I wear, but for today, I'll introduce myself as a moderator. I'm here to take you through and also to think together with our panel to make sure that we bring to the fore the importance of the global supply chain into this part of the world. And also, especially today, we want to delve into how can we utilize the Nacala corridor? How ready is the Nacala corridor in handling both outbound and also inbound cargo? We know that Nacala corridor really is one of the strategic trade routes, facilitating not only trade, but development. A lot of components that are used for the ramping up of the mining sector. We are all aware that at the moment there's a lot of ramping up. I think Congo reached almost 3 million mark, 3 million tons of finished copper. Zambia were targeting 1 million up to end of December. And you know that really there's been a serious ramp up. Now, when you look at ultimately, even if we look at the current production of 4 million between Zambia and Congo, just look at copper. For every ton of copper, maybe there are 3 tons, 4 tons of other items that come in terms of facilitating the smooth processing, additives that go into this copper, because copper is not mined. It's not found naturally cathode as you see it. It takes a lot of processing, but added to that, a lot of consumables come to the mining sector. Now, if we add the agriculture sector, maybe until recently, we used to get a lot of fertilizer coming through the Nacala corridor. But we know that inland here, Zambia has taken up that. There's been progress in having fertilizer internally produced. But there are other fertilizers, other chemicals that are required in the specialization needs of the mining sector. So I would like my panelists, I think, not so much in order from maybe representative from JICA, just briefly introduce yourself and we take a round before we can go into the discussion. Just shoot. Come first. JICA, you can introduce yourself. The representative from JICA.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, distinguished guests and audience through the online. My name is Keita Izumi. I'm a senior representative of JICA Zambia office, and thank you very much for inviting me today. And it is great honor and pleasure to join from Lusaka. So I'm looking forward to having a fruitful discussion through this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Musonda and Ms. Betty, for inviting us. I am BP Avasthi, Head and CEO of Nacala Logistics Corridor, which takes care of CLN, CDN, and CF. And we are running the northern part of the rail network of Mozambique and the rail network in Malawi. And we have almost reached Zambia border and about to enter it. And of course, we will further discuss it during the course of the event. Thank you so much and good afternoon.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Fernando Wana, National Director of Logistics at the Ministry of Transport and Logistics, Mozambique. I want to thank you for the invitation. It's important to talk about Nacala corridor. So thank you for the invitation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Moderator and the others in the event. I am Naimo Induna, representing CFM in this event. I am part of the commercial and marketing area of CFM. I believe that along but for this particular event. Sharing insights. Corridor is to run the port of Nacala. So along the event, I will be sharing more insights about CFM activities in general, and more specifically about the developments that are ongoing in port of Nacala. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, come in. Yes.
Mr. Msonda, you can take it up.
Yes, thank you very much. So, having made those introductory remarks, maybe we start. We have heard about the link also in Zambia, but just coming from in tackling our topics, the strengthening the global supply chain through the Nacala corridor. Maybe from the point of the Mozambican government and the representative, in terms of facilitation and your policy, how is the government of Mozambique, and what role in this case is it playing in ensuring that the issues that relate to the policy, the issues that relate to the permits for making easier clearance of goods, whether we are importing into Africa and exporting, how are you handling, what role are you, what plans do you have to make sure that the Nacala corridor is efficient? What policies have you had to adjust to facilitate this, if any? The representative from the Mozambican Army, the Minister of Transport, you have to go first on that one.
Yeah, sorry, I was speaking with the meeting monarch. Thank you for the question.
You are the key person. Maybe, I don't know, did you get my question? You got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you for the question. I understood the issue of facilitations. So are the key issues for the government. That's why we have been engaging on the most critical issues that matters on the time for trade along the corridor. We know that we have some delays on the borders. We have some delays on the road and the infrastructure on the ports. So we are engaging with our counterpart, our country's neighborhood, Malawi, Zambia, and we have already signed agreement for one-stop border posts, because we do believe that the one-stop border post will be helped to reduce the time to cross the borders. And in fact, we have signed the commercial agreement for the region. So is on implementation phase. It will take a different phase, but the Mozambique has signed the African trade regimes that reduces the duties, the process for the products from the region. So this is very important that the government is undertaking part of the infrastructure issues. For the first I've said everything.
Thank you very much. Then I think for the Nacala corridor management, we do see that we are looking at evacuating millions and millions of tons in terms of critical minerals and other items coming from Africa through Zambia, coming from Congo. As the infrastructure is today, what is it that you are putting in place to ensure that you're able to handle this kind of potential cargo, not only coming to facilitate the trade inside Africa, but also to be able to handle? What mechanisms have you put in, or are you putting in place with anticipated increased supply, especially when the rail line is done and connected throughout to Zambia? That's the Nacala corridor. Question to the Nacala management. The infrastructure, the Nacala corridor itself, the Nacala facilities itself.
We have two operators. There is a rail and port, so you have to choose
I
one.
want them to respond actually, not for your government you are facilitating. That question is to the management. They should respond, the operators. What is it that they are doing and how prepared are they to handle the potential increase the loads into Nacala and out of Nacala?
Is CFM going to respond about port, or should I talk about the rail corridor?
Yes, talk about the rail corridor, but because
Okay,
you're relating
perfect.
the infrastructure, evacuation about the infrastructure,
Right,
it
right.
starts from there exactly.
Right. So see the rail corridor which starts from Nacala Porto and it passes through Nampula, then Iapala, Kwamba, then enters Malawi at Niuchi, via Livonde, enters at Nakaya. From Nakaya, it turns northward, going up to Blantyre, Limbe, and then it goes Kaningo and then touches Mishinji. And beyond Mishinji, about 21 kilometers is the Chipata in Zambia. So the importance of the corridor, if we see the distances from Nacala to Livonde, it is 685 kilometers. Nacala to Mishinji, 1100 kilometers, and Nacala to Chipata is 1150 kilometers. If we compare this to the other rail corridors, Dar es Salaam, Lobito, this is much less. It's in fact from any port, it is the shortest distance rail corridor which is going to enter there. And in last 3 years, a lot of input with all cooperation from Mozambican government, Malawian government, and CFM, we have improved the transit time on these routes. At present, from Nacala to Blantyre, we have a transit time of 48 hours. Nacala to Kanengo 70 hours, and Nacala Mishinji 76 hours, and Nacala Chipata expected is about 78 hours, which is the fastest from any port in respect to this. And if you see, the JICA had published a very detailed report in this regard in 2017, which lays down the importance of this corridor. So, considering this, in fact, connecting the eastern part of Zambia and the dream of the Zambian government from making Zambia as a landlocked country to land-linked country and a hub of various logistical activities, it's very important that all three corridors, Lobeto, Tazara, and Nacala, are developed in a very balanced manner, depending upon the strength of the respective port, strength of the respective rail corridor. At present, what I see, the most reliable corridor at present is the Nacala corridor. Having, CFM putting in lot of input in Nacala port, modernization, digitization, and all those things. Here also, a vessel coming and getting emptied in a short time, and thereafter transportation through rail or road network into Malawi and onward to Chipata as we were planning, will be a very, very win-win situation for all the three countries and all the stakeholders in between. And if you see the maximum quantity, if you see from mining or agriculture perspective, fertilizer is one thing which is come imported. Then copper is exported, coal is exported, graphite is exported, iron ore is exported. So these things can be an export commodity, and fertilizer is there or wheat is there, or petroleum is there. Very, very important is the fuel, diesel. That can reach Chipata fastest from Nacala corridor. So if we see from the development perspective along the corridor, it's about, let's say, 612 kilometer in Mozambique, and thereafter about 450 kilometers in Malawi, and some 20-30 kilometers going up to Chipata in Zambia. This whole corridor can be a potential source of development along the line. Further, as you mentioned about the Chipata to Sirinji line, which which is anticipated, that will further strengthen this corridor and connectivity to Nacala port. So from that perspective, movement is very correct. Like all the three-country agreement which has been signed, about 5 agreements have been signed for development of this corridor, and definitely involving the stakeholders. CFM is one, we are second, and very important is the development of Chipata Dry Port, because that becomes actually the hub connecting Nacala port to inbound Zambia. That's very, very important.
Thank you very much. I think for now, yes,
one point I would like to mention here from the government side, immigration and custom clearance. We say one-stop border post. For a goods train, it can actually be a non-stop border post also. We can further discuss when we meet subsequently in Lusaka in April. But there's no limit. It can be facilitated to a great extent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I'll now turn to JICA. I know JICA did a lot of comprehensive studies on this corridor. How is JICA, what role is JICA looking at both medium and long term? What role do you see yourselves playing in trying to actualize now the physical infrastructure which is left? It's one thing to have the port that is efficient, but also this road and the rail networks that have to be completed. What role is JICA, how is JICA placing themselves to facilitate and help that we actualize this global supply chain through Nacala in terms of infrastructure that is left to be done? How is JICA responding to these challenges and also the opportunity?
So thank you very much, the moderator. So let me start from the our diplomatic strategy of the Japanese government. So under the Japan's diplomatic strategy of the free and open Indo-Pacific FOIP, the Nacala corridor is considered as one of the vital routes connecting between Africa and Asia. So therefore, the corridor has been taken as one of our 3 priority corridors. The other corridors include the Northern Corridor from Mombasa and West Africa Growth Train in West Africa region. And I believe as for the Zambia, the Nacala corridor secures the the additional route to the Indian Ocean, so that which can diversify the risks of the congestion or disruption of the existing ports, such as the Durban, Port of Durban, or Bela Port, or Dar es Salaam Port. So we very much put high priority to promote the Nacala corridor development, and our position for the toward the development of Nacala corridor, we take the 3 countries, state countries along the corridor as a single economic area. So this is the reason why we have provided our cooperation into these 3 countries based on the long-term growth scenarios by combining the hard infrastructure development, such as the Nacala port development, and also like rehabilitation on the expansion of the road, both in Mozambique and Malawi. And also we conduct a project for capacity building, like soft components, like to enhance the capacity of OSBP operation or maintenance capacity of the bridge maintenance. So that is our approach to to have the combination of to develop the hard infrastructure as well as the capacity for operation and maintenance. And further, in addition to this, last August 2025, at the Tokyo International Conference of the African Development 9, TICAD 9, our government, Japanese government, announced a new initiative to strengthen the global supply chain through the development of the Nacala corridor. And this initiative aims to upgrade and reinforce transport infrastructure in the corridor and enhance the corridor's value as a logistic route for minerals and other goods, and accelerate their industrial promotion, particularly for the mining and agriculture. So we, JICA, following this policy, will focus on the logistics strengthening and industrial promotion. And we also seek the possibility of collaboration with other international development partners and private sectors, including Japanese companies. So maybe I would just point out some ideas of potential cooperation. So as for the logistics, maybe the further enhancement of Nacala port or improvement of roads and bridges along the corridor. And on the soft components, the strengthening of the bridge maintenance capacity. And under the industrial promotion, as for the mining, in order to realize the sustainable mining development, we plan to enhance the analytical capacity and environmental monitoring capacity of the Zambian government. And as for the agriculture, we'll try to leverage the potential of agricultural activities in particularly in Zambia, is mainly Eastern Province and surrounding areas, to raise value addition through agro-processing and promote exports by Nacala corridor route.
Thank you very much. I think speaking to that, in the many years ago, we used to have major companies, Japanese companies, the likes of the Mitsuis, coming to buy various minerals in the country. I know the EV revolution does not only touch other countries like America, China. Japan is in the key with the EV revolution. And we see Zambia and Congo as a source of these materials. Are we seeing in the near future having these large-scale private Japanese companies coming in to partner with Zambian players to make sure that they also participate in these critical minerals, and especially in setting up value addition? How do we see JICA facilitating? And if so, what timelines are you looking at getting the big players to come inside here?
Okay, thank you very much. And actually, we are always trying to, invite the Japanese companies to come into this field. And actually, we have received some Japanese companies who show their interest in mining sector and logistics or infrastructure sector development by utilizing the Nacala corridor. But on the other hand, they also emphasize the need for provision of regulatory stability and transparency, and as well as predictability in terms of the custom clearance or security or even power reliability. So I think these implicate that the importance of the reliability, or in other words, stability or predictability, is quite essential for them to come in and invest into this field.
Thank you very much. So we are looking, I'm sure that you have seen the stepping up of this targeted mineral production. And in terms of the mining regime, mining tax system, it has been stabilized a lot. And that's why we are seeing our traditional mining houses. I sit also as a board chair for ZCCM. We are seeing a lot of interest, people coming to try to add value to our minerals. And surely having 3 million tons of copper as a target, we see the Mitsuis coming to not only buy the commodities, but digging it, mining it, processing the goods, and shipping the goods to the mature industries in Japan. So we'll look forward to that. I think I heard your thought. I would like now to go to my other colleagues who haven't spoken. I want to know, they are also from the private sector. What is it that we're doing to make sure that we take advantage of this short route, the Nacala corridor route into Zambia? What initiatives are we having? Or even challenges, please, let's be open, we speak both ways.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Allow me, Mr. Moderator, to come in as well, just to share some insights about the port of Nacala itself. But I'd like just to very briefly present to you CFM, okay? CFM is the rail and ports entity of Mozambique. It's a public-owned company. It's a profitable company since 2004 with contribution to the treasury of around 60 to 80 million annually. And our main business basically is rail services for passengers and goods, and also handling goods and parts. What is our role here specifically for the Nacala corridor? CFM is running the port of Nacala, and I would divide my intervention in because the moderator asked the question, how can we utilize better the Nacala corridor? So I will divide my intervention in two, which is first the immediate utilization. How can we capitalize? And in the long run, and considering it as well, the previous intervention. Immediately, as everybody may be well aware, with the JICA investment, Port of Nacala was rehabilitated. And currently, we have a new port. So this is something that we need to underscore. Port of Nacala today is not the Port of Nacala that we had today, before. I mean, we have a brand new container terminal with capacity to operate 252,000 TEUs annum. We have a new yard for storing containers of around 80,000 TEUs. And we are also looking to increase this capacity to about 10,000 TEUs per annum. Port of Nacala today has two key gantry cranes for ship-to-shore operations, which means that the productivity for the vessel operations have increased. We are currently doing around 14 units per hour. Since we have two, so we're doing 24. But we have capacity to do up to 25 units per equipment, which can take us to 50 units per hour. That is basically a great change in what it was before, and there is still a great potential to improve, as I said. This rehabilitation also promoted, the increase of capacity. So currently, Port of Nacala has capacity in total of around 10 million tons. If you look at the three terminals, so we are looking at one container terminal with around 4 million ton capacity. We are looking at one general cargo with around 2.4 million tons. And we are looking at a liquid bulk terminal with around 3.6 million ton capacity. Over the years, this capacity has never been exploited over, let's say, over 40 or 50%, which means that there is a room to explore more these ports. So immediately, there is still a room that we can explore in these ports, but there is some activities that need to be done because people are not yet aware of what has taken place in the port of Nacala, but also we have the Nacala logistics here that have faced a great improvements in terms of the turnaround for the rails. I think Mr. Nacala Logistics can confirm they do around 36 hours from Nacala to Blantyre. So this is a major change with the situations in Nacala. So first of all, there is a room to improve and explore more this capacity, but in the long run, there are activities to be taken, okay? Mr. Moderator was talking here about the capacity for the mining in Zambia and DRC. And of course, the issue of linking Njinji to Chipata is very important. And also this memorandum that was signed in tripartite to link Chipata to Serenji will be crucial, because if you look at the Nacala role in the global supply chain, we do have from one hand the Lobito corridor that can run some of the minerals, but if you look at the Asia, the shorter route is definitely Nacala corridor. So we need to look at these items and improve. Nacala Logistics also mentioned the issue of non-stop border posts. We have been discussing one-stop border post, but we can also think about going to non-stop definitely. Why not think of a border that basically there is no stop of the trains? If we look at the reality, we are in a digitalization moment. So if a train leaves from one terminal and goes directly, so we can start thinking about these kind of things just to promote efficiency over the corridor. I will stop here, Mr. Moderator, and I will come by in the next for more intervention. Thank you for attention.
Thank you very much. Interesting, you look at that is very important as information may be. A 40% utilization of installed capacity. It simply means, like when you have a flood, when water is coming but has no outlet, it means that for us to go from the 40%, we need to have even the capacity ordinarily in a port like yours. The idea is not to stock these containers when they come. The idea is to evacuate goods as quickly as you can, and therefore the infrastructure along the corridor, such as dry ports, have to come in so that whatever is coming, you can store the goods that are coming so that they can be transported via the port. But we can see that at 40%, therefore there's huge potential that we can tap in because you have the installed capacity. And how now, in terms of the infrastructure, I mean, JICA has done a very good study. It means we need to go from point A to Z. And we like it, the issue of clearing. These issues of borders in Africa, we are trading together as countries. I mean, we have to be able to inspect something at source and at destination. In between here, these stoppages that we have to talk together, we have to create trust, and I think those are the synergies that I think JICA, I'm sure, can pick up in trying to open up, because we need in this digital age, we can send information, we can track these goods from at the point of entry, Nacala, if they enter there, up to the end. So we need to look at this kind of solution. I think the next comment we can zero in, how do we utilize technology and also improve the digital access? Because this issue of borders is purely a delay for us. It doesn't help anyone, because those borders, those stoppages we have does not change the quality of the goods. I think we have to put in place mechanisms that will require us. So how do you think, what should be our approach in trying to utilize even the AI today? There's artificial intelligence that can help us in making sure that the goods that leave a corridor, equally the goods that are exported, let's say from Congo, from Zambia, can go all the way without those stoppages. What policies or mechanisms working with the governments around the corridor, how do you see us coming together to resolve these issues? I think you can comment that, then we'll pass that one. I want each panelist to comment on that, purely providing solutions. I mean, having a Nacala corridor with 40% utilization, we need to start aiming higher. What is it that we can do? Now, this has to do also with the human aspect, because the rail line and locomotive will be able to move. But half of the time in Africa is the mindset that we have to change to make sure that we facilitate. You can go first. You're on the floor. Just under 1 minute, you're on the floor, you can respond.
Okay. See, the major areas of concern, if we see, are one, you mentioned about the locomotives and wagons going across the border into various countries. So technical parameters, axle load, train load, speed, signaling method, they have to be synchronized across the three countries. For that, the three countries, along with the operators, like we are one of the operators, they have to come on board and they have to lay down norms for all the three countries for this corridor. So that when a train starts with a set of locomotives, I can take it right from Nacala to Chipata without changing locomotives. That's one part, which will save time. Then when I say non-stop border post, their technology and AI, IT enablement can be used. When a freight train starts from here, all containers are locked. The locks can be so designed that if it is tempered, immediately a message is created and the concerning authorities are informed. And if lock is untempered, and that message will go even up to the custom authorities at Mozambique, Malawi border and Malawi, Zambia border. Then in that case, no custom clearance stoppage is required at any of the border. The train can go non-stop, right? Secondly, the train drivers which are operating the train, they can have the access card issued by the immigrant authorities, which are recognized across the borders. So they don't have to waste time, get down, go to the post, get their passport stamped from both the side, entry side, exit side. If we use technology and AI across the three countries, we save time on that also. So this is where is the movement of these trains can be very, very smooth without any problem to anyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any addition to that? Any comments? Any addition? Jaika?
Yes, thank you very much. And yes, we have in terms of the IT technology or the AI or something that we Japan have a lot of companies, including SMEs, who have the advanced technology in that field. So as we JICA, have several activities to promote Japanese private companies to develop their businesses, that contribute to solving such kind of challenges by supporting to conduct their survey, needs assessment survey, and a pilot project for commercialization. So I think that JICA can, support to conduct to come into the to this region for the private sectors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are comments from the other panelists. You can come in if you have any.
Yes, I may come in, Mr. Moderator, if you allow me to. From the port perspective, apart from the development as far as equipment and the infrastructure is concerned, let me share that we have implemented in Port of Nacala terminal operating system, which is some facilitation when it comes to the ADI communication with the various stakeholders, mainly the shipping lines. But this is not the end of this process, because we are looking at having a full digitalized operation. So we are developing the port community system with the community and port. But overall in the country, we need to also look at some sort of a national single window to the other various stakeholders. This will facilitate. But we need also to engage with our partner that is running the rail, so that we can see how can we integrate as well the rail system and the port system, such that the customers can have easy tracking of their commodity from the terminal all the way to the inland side of the corridor. Thank you.
Okay. Any other further comments?
Yes, to agree that in fact we need to accelerate the movement on the corridors, and in fact we can have non-stop trains. We do have some experience of signing agreements with the South African teams that we have trains without borders. So that is an experience that should be extended to Nacala, so that the train should not have borders, should go through, and the systems and the technology, as Jaika said and our other colleagues said, would help so to assist the customs along the corridors so that they can be sure that nothing was introduced or nothing was taken out, so that it would help so that the trains would be moving faster and their shift is making. So for the government perspective, we are already working on that, and we are engaging our partners to together work on this to make it happen. Although we recognize the challenge that it means for the customer perspectives.
So in terms of, we know customs clearance of goods has always been a topical issue. What are at the level from the government, are you looking at using AI, for example, to seamlessly digitally clear these goods from the point of entry? And for the future, we'll even have to track this. If a container is coming from Japan, these containers are tracked. Then you can have a tracking mechanism. Are you aligning the various customs in this region to ensure that digitally they clear, there is nothing in between at the border to be clearing? How can we use that AI to ensure that the customs clearance really smoothens up also? Is it something to look at?
Yes, definitely. The AI is the technology on our hands today, and they can perform better operation than human can do. So it's the issue that we have to go on and fight with the resistance, because the humans will take time to adapt, and they believe that the AI or the system, the technology can do better than that. So in the government perspective, yes, we need to put those systems. I heard Japan that they have many technology. They are looking to promote those SMEs to come and make a show up to our custom service to see and understand that, yes, we can be faster and more reliable and collect more, or even better with the technology than doing by hands or by looking by eye.
That's interesting. Jaika, you have some comment there with your capacity, how you can seamlessly use AI. If we have AI checking the seals that are put in a container, when you have a robot at a certain border post, robots won't go to sleep. They'll be there 24/7 working. Is it an option?
Sorry, your sound was slower. I couldn't hear perfectly.
Yeah, I'm saying, I was trying to bring in Jaika that for the AI technology, we know that sometimes our human element in coming in to do inspection. I know sometimes at the border, we close borders, work 9 hours and go home. But I mean, for trains which can move 24/7, we could have robots using AI to inspect that the seals are okay. That means robots can't sleep. We can have access to robots checking for us and helping our human intervention, not so.
Yes, in fact, that's what I was saying, that the technology with the AI can perform better, and in fact, they almost do not get tired, so they can work in better conditions. And that is what is needed to be implemented, although we need to showcase to the service providers, the customs to date, see and test and see that this is the best option, is where we have to go in terms of inspecting. I can share with the South Africa that we are exploring that options in terms of custom to custom service, that the inspection done by South African can be valid or can be seen by Mozambique, so that by the time that crossing the border, that information has already achieved on the Mozambican side and make it possible to continue with that trip.
Thank you. So, like me, you are pleading to JICA. We are appealing to JICA to bring those junior companies to come and resolve our issues. Interesting. I know we have the audience with us. The audience may have raised some various questions. I think it's also important that we balance up. We bring in some, maybe we cast some questions from our audience. I don't know if our master of ceremony, are you ready with some questions that we can look at?
Mr. Moderator, just check your WhatsApp for some questions that you've been sharing. Then maybe you can read them through, and any of our speakers can take it up.
Thank you very much. So you have got actually various ones. I've got from Mr. Gona or Jonah. The first question is there any prospect businesses that will sustain the Nacala corridor once the integration is made? Are there any worth mentioning? Okay. Then another question to JICA. This one is related to JICA from Mr. James Nkosi. He says, do the studies that were done by JICA, that is, do the studies include the economic and financial viability of the corridor? The success and sustainability will also be very dependent on a very integrated approach in developing the corridor. What have been the observations or issues identified in the study to that effect? Okay, so maybe I'll also put the third question. So as the moderators, we can just add what is left. Then again from Mr. Jameson, goes to any panelist, would local beneficiation of especially minerals reduce the pressure on the demand or cost of the required corridor infrastructure? Okay, so maybe we start with those. We'll start with JICA, then we can also, any panelists can come in. Basically, they are talking about sustainability. Are there any studies, or if there are other projects that are coming potentially to do?
Okay, so thank you very much. So let me start from JICA to try to answer the second question. So through our study and activities, we identify the several challenges to wider utilization of the Nacala corridor. So I think one of the keywords to be considered for attracting the utilization of the corridor is, as I mentioned earlier, reliability. In order to then in order to enhance the corridor reliability, that is on time, schedule performance, and predictability. So in that sense, we identify the I just introduced explained the two major challenges we identified. The first one is insufficient quality and the capacity and resilience of the transport infrastructure. So I think we all agree that some road sections remain unpaved and deteriorated, and also like drainage shortfalls cause rainy season disruptions. And actually, we experienced some incidents along the Great East Road in Zambia affected by the heavy rain this season. And also, as we discussed earlier, that although railway transport offers cost-effective bulk transport, which is suitable for transporting the minerals, the like area restoration between the Lilongwe, Chipata, I believe the first priority to connect to the Zambia. And the secondary, this is also discussed area that there still remains the room to improve the border and custom clearance. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe the second panelist, as you comment, Mr. Nkosi still says that would beneficiation of especially minerals also reduce the pressure? He just look at maybe the funding of this infrastructure appears to be much higher. Maybe they are looking at the current loads. Would increase the beneficiation along this corridor maybe help to fund the corridor infrastructure? As you comment, I think maybe we can also touch on it.
Sorry, could you come again?
Mr. Nkosi's added question is about the viability, that maybe the infrastructure, completion of infrastructure is delayed, maybe because of the current volumes. But to address that, is it one solution is suggest if we have to make beneficiation to add value to the minerals, then transport them. If we start setting up value additional facilities along the corridor, would that create more demand and therefore reduce the cost of these infrastructures? Basically, it's talking about finding ways and means to increase traffic.
I mean, you're right, Mr. Musonda. Actually, that is where the role of the three government becomes very important. For example, if somebody comes forward to develop the Chipata dry port, and unless there is a traffic, he will not get his investment returns back. So there, the role of government comes in. So if it is, we have to create a win-win situation, then all the stakeholders have to come together and the three governments have to support.
Correct.
That's important. And when the traffic is more, in that case, the charges are also come down. The per kilometer, per ton, per kilometer charges will be much more reasonable.
Okay. That's good then. Then Mr. Dev Ram Pasad says that what measures are being taken to enhance security, efficiency, and tracking of vehicles and cargo moving through both public and private sector value chains? Is there an opportunity to have a deeper discussion here around exploring proactive security measures also? I think security, this is about perception, perception of many people want to go through Nacala corridor. They always think maybe it's an undeveloped corridor. Is there an opportunity to have a deeper discussion around exploring proactive security measures? That's from Dave. You can comment. What is the experience of the security situation in short? Do you have incidences?
I am the biggest sufferer of this, and let me share this with you all. There is definitely, large number of instances of theft and vandalism on the trains, primarily for diesel and copper elements. We have wire cuts on the station, which affects our signaling system, operation control system. Then we have vandalism attempts on locomotives to break open their seals and take out diesel from the locomotive. Third is when we are transporting diesel, we are, escorting it on train and off train also by the security persons, private security, as well as in Mozambique, we have taken, help of the government, and we have armed police also escorting. So this is one area where definitely, a lot needs to be done.
Okay, so I mean, those are serious observations. We have also from Mr. Devi Mubanga, who says, how are the SMEs and large companies going to be incorporated? Well, in terms of incorporation, I think is about what various opportunities exist for SMEs maybe. I know there's rail, but there's also road freight. Would SMEs be able to participate in doing business, logistics business, perhaps, maybe? Then another one from Mr. John Patton. He says, what are the geopolitical issues regarding the development of the transport facilities on Africa's east and southern ports? This one includes Nacala, Mombasa, Durban, for shipments to and from Asia, and those on the west coast, especially Lobito and maybe Walvis Bay, for shipments to and from Europe and the Americas. Is there any effect, in short, the geopolitical issues? I'm sure these big shipping lines, do they necessarily prefer to do with certain corridors, or there's something we can step up now that all these corridors are serving the same purpose? Why go all the way from this end, you go to Walvis Bay, when you can go to Nacala? Is geopolitical issues playing a part here also? Is it something to look at? Are you having only particular shipping lines, maybe? I don't know. You can answer it. You can comment. If it doesn't exist, let us know.
I would like to recognize that geopolitics are very important, but I do believe that in logistics, mainly the most important part is viability and to balance that. So
Okay.
based on that, if we see east we have Asia, on the west we have Europe. So I think the thing will be splintered if there is a west port or east port that would be more economically viable. Then if you can choose Dar or Nacala, but would vary in the same region, not necessarily west compared to east. Maybe in geopolitics, maybe we will be discussing Beira to Dar. Okay.
Okay.
Very maybe it's closer, but he would prefer Dar because of other geopolitical issues. But at the end, the economic viability is more important because the private sector will look for the better price, better choice. So I do think that resolving those issues of the time delays and the technology, that will make it more easier to those companies to decide that even if I don't like that one, this is the best option I can offer to my clients. So I would bring the other question about the SMEs or the company, how they can be incorporated on this corridor development. In fact, we do have the transport corridors, but the objective is to have those corridors as a development corridor. Along those corridors, we do have to develop industrial zones, very productive areas that the small entities, combined with the dry ports, would be in condition to produce on certain locations and put on the dry ports and the rails and then took to the market at the best conditions. So we have to develop the industrial zones along our corridor, where as Mozambique, we are trying to promote Nacala as industrial zones so that the port, yes, connected with the industrial zones would promote the different activities, generate cargo, and then to ship inland or for abroad. So I do think that along all the corridors, we must look on the activity that can be developed, taking in the opportunity that the corridors bring us to bring the product either to Mozambique, to Malawi, or to elsewhere. So that was, I would say.
Thank you very much. I think in wrapping up, I think we also add some other just questions for noting so that when we go around under one minute maybe for the purposes of conclusion. Suleiman Esi Nkosana says, how will this progressive development empower the local SMEs along the Nacala corridor, such as SABL SADC Trackers Limited, that provide third-party logistics and overland haul services? I mean, something to note is that whilst appropriate rates are given to large-scale transporters, the subcontractors might not appear to be getting the right amount. Therefore, maybe sometimes they will abandon the place. Then Mr. Wembia Alan Chisakuta says, it would appear that most of the 912 kilometers of rail has been in existence. Therefore, perhaps the railway will only get refurbished and perhaps some parts upgraded. Isn't the use of old equipment or railway line not going to disadvantage the project from using more modern trains? That is purely infrastructure improvement. Then Mr. Mary Mary Penanen. He says, what is the waiting time for the dry bulk vessel at the moment in Nacala? Second, Mr. Naku Chikanya says, what concrete steps can governments, industry players, and training institutions take now to internationally equip and position young people as leaders and innovators within the Nacala corridor? We have mentioned about the technology and the wider transport and logistics sector. Then Mr. Chisanga Puta, he says, he asks, will the Nacala corridor be able to assist the region with the current fuel shortages? Food for thought. Then Mr. Mabuza Shabalala says, in mapping out different models for increased growth and sustainability around the corridor, to what extent has infrastructure development and revitalization been part of the strategies, i.e., network configuration, the gauge, and the AFCFTA imperatives, industrialization? That's African act that has been signed. Industrialization, I think Mr. Mabuza Shabalala is speaking to it. Then Mr. Epo Chisulo says, have you already identified where the warehouses can be built on the Zambian side? And if so, how can one know these identified areas? Potential business partner there or developer. Then Mr. Mary Penanen again says, question to Fernando about the Dondo development. Is it happening? So I think you can pick from there. And we start maybe from Mr. Fernando. You can pick the last one, then we come round.
Thank you. I think the last question I had, the question if the Dondo is happening, the answer is yes. Dondo is a proposed dry port that would be linked to Beira port. And the short answer is that yes, the dry port is being undeveloped and will be a reality in around the 18 months. Be shorter in that answer. Yes.
Any other comment on another question? Not necessarily in the order. If you remain, pick something. Otherwise, we'll pass on to the next panelist.
In terms of, I noted the question if Nacala would be a solution for fuel. I don't think Nacala
Yes.
is being giving best options. I do think yes, it is possible, but they can give more detailed action in terms of operational. And one question I think I noted, but they will answer as operation if there's a delay on the port for minerals. But in fact, I said before, we need to take the industrialization as a most important thing. So we have development corridors. So in fact, we have to develop strategies to create industrial zones based on the value chains that we would help to aggregate, to have volumes, to put on the certain destinations so that we can take a better option of the corridors. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Elaborating, further on Mr. Fernando's thing about movement of fuel, we are moving almost, we have 3 dedicated fuel trains. They are taking fuel from Nacala port to the CFM port to Malawi and towards Motis regularly. And operation of a fuel vessel at Nacala port is, I will say, outstanding, is excellent. Within few hours of the vessel coming, the unloading starts. And within next few hours, it is loaded into the train. But one condition requires some attention. For loading of fuel in the train at present, only Petromok has that facility. It is required that more storage facilities are developed at Nacala port, maybe Exor or maybe Camel Oil or maybe something else, where multiple trains can be loaded from multiple vendors. So that will provide faster fuel. We can ship it faster, we can transport it faster. And if need comes, we can increase these 3 trains to maybe 5 trains, 6 trains, depends upon the requirement in Malawi and Chipata. Thank you.
Jaika, you have a point? How young people using technology can be incorporated?
Thank you very much. And I'd like to talk about the how to engage the SMEs around the corridor. So, for instance, I'd like to share the example that in Chipata, there is an industrial yard to accommodate the SMEs. So that means, once the railway connect to the up to Chipata, they can also utilize the mode of transport and to connect to the other region or even outside the African continent. So that can also benefit to the SMEs, I think. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any further comment? There was also the issue of how long is the waiting time for the dry bulk vessel at the moment in Nacala? Maybe the operators can say something on that. How long is it taking these days?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. With regards to the waiting time, it should be noted that Port of Nacala, apart from its natural deepest water in the east coast, with around 60 meters deep and a sheltered natural bay, it has almost no waiting time. If you look at the other ports in the region, we are talking about congestion. But if you talk about Nacala, we don't have congestion at all. What is taking place, to my understanding, is that people are not aware of this reality of Port of Nacala. People still have the vision of the previous Port of Nacala. So consider that Port of Nacala today is a port with no congestion at all. So if you want to talk about waiting time, containerized cargo, they have around average 1 day waiting. If you look at bulk, it's also 1 to 2 days average waiting days. So there is a room for exploring. Coming to the issue of the contribution to the shortage of fuel in the ports as well, like I said, we are around the capacity now for the liquid bulk terminal is of 3.6 million tons, and we do around 1 million per annum. So there is a lot of room to explore in this extent as of now. But even as future plans, there is an intention also to refurbish the liquid bulk terminal. So definitely there is no congestion in port of Nacala. I want to also mention the issue of security from the port perspective. Port of Nacala, once rehabilitated as well, we've implemented CCTV camera that guarantee 24 hours of operations. meaning that from the port side, definitely we have a port that's 100% secure. So basically, Mr. Moderator, we need to work on spreading this information that we do have a different port aligned with the corridor that needs to be explored and is one of the shortest distance if you look at the other ports in the region. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So Mr. Dave Rampart was also saying, besides maybe the security in the port, what measures are being taken to address the issues of theft along the corridors? Is it something, I mean, at the moment, there is infrastructure, there is also management right at the port itself. But once you leave the port, you go, I mean, that's in entry, maybe along the rail line. Is there any plans to enhance that security, if possible? In transit, so to speak.
Well, Nacala Logistics is not a team, but basically we had some issues of security on the corridor. What was implemented was escort the trains and have the brigades that are positioned on critical areas. So the security is a key issue that the institutions are looking on it. Critical areas, they may put a escort or some put some dedicated brigades on the targeted areas. So it's based on a monitoring and they put the proper solutions to attend. But nowadays we have these issues that are under control, but we have actions always in place.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Someone who hasn't spoken for a long time, my panelist. I want the one who has been quiet now. At least, can you?
We have a new guest. I think we all will be interactive.
Exactly. So I think we have done justice to the questions. Maybe just to round up now, I'll give each one maybe just a minute. In this case, we have done justice, we have discussed, but you can see that we are gravitating towards the issues of efficiency, issues of security. In terms of efficiency, we can see that the port is really underutilized, and one key element we have to look at is put more marketing. We have to speak about this corridor, how efficient the potential it has, and the major infrastructure has been dealt with. So what we need are the soft aspect of dealing with it, our human aspects, the customs aspect. Also, we need to streamline all the government-to-government policies in terms of the customs union there, how it can work better to improve the efficiency along the corridor. So maybe if there's anything you didn't add or anything you feel you can add, you have a minute at least to go around from the policy point of view, and how do you think we can still do, how can we do more going forward from today? And also, how can people access so much of the information? We have touched on a bit, but remember, we still need to transmit this information to the would-be potential investors, and including, we have the young people who are subcontractors who feel they can do a bit more. If you can contract them, they like to come to Mozambique, they like to play a part, but they feel that maybe they're being traded with through third parties. Maybe we have to start opening up, growing junior transporters to make them after 5 years along this corridor to become bigger transporters. So maybe your comments, not necessarily in any order, but you can, as a last remarks, maybe. You can go first, sir.
Thank you. To thank for this webinar, to say that yes, Nacala is a choice, and as you mentioned, we have a port that is in good conditions. We do need to work hard to maintain the security on the corridors. Yes, we do need to improve the efficiency of our customs issues along the three countries. Fortunately, as Mr. Irene said, we have tripartite meetings. We have different groups that works on different issues to overcome those issues related with the borders and implement efficient borders. Looking forward to have in the future a non-stop borders that in fact it's possible. We can look to Europe, we cross the Indian country just by crossing. So we can do that, and Japan will play a role to help us to overcome some issues. And for efficiency for logistics, we still have to activate Chipata dry port at Zambia, and the connection from Chipata to Malawi and rail. Still, in short time that will be activated, and that will make more easier that Zambia can export from Chipata via rail, which is less complicated than doing by truck. In that issue. So we are looking forward that all these interventions, all those policies may be implemented. In Mozambique side, as I said, we are looking to attract more activities for the corridor, promoting industrial zones along Nacala areas, and put dry port as well, so that more facilitation will be done and more attraction can be done. So thank you for the invitations, and we are here for next section. So for contact, I think Mr. Nemo will bring more options how to reach Nacala information or Nacala port or other different ports in Mozambique. Yes, we do have how to find it. Thank you.
JICA, when all is said and done, where do you see this corridor in the next 3 to 5 years? What would you like to see?
At this point, I cannot say like to show the some actual potential project, but I think the interoperability and the harmonization among the three countries is one of the keyword to maximize the potential of the Nacala corridor. And in that sense, we are happy that the three-country partnership agreement was signed in 2023, I think, and also tripartite railway agreement was also signed. Such strong commitment from the government side is crucial, and we are very much happy to see that thing. And we JICA, of course, remain committed to working closely with these three governments to further develop the corridor and contribute to like more resilient regional supply chain. So thank you very much.
Good. As an operator, I'm sure today you have spoken out the opportunities that are there, but challenges never stop. But I think the opportunities are much more greater, having heard from you. What is your take from our webinar today? What do you think you have to work on to improve and also improve the targeting and marketing to potential customers? What is your take today?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Just to recap the main takeaways, I think even from your speech, you have mentioned one of the issues that we need to improve in order to tackle this issue, which is the marketing, okay? We need to do a strong marketing because there are improvements that took place already that are not well known. Let me share that CFPM itself did some conferences. We did 2 conferences in Malawi, but we've never done yet in Zambia. But hopefully this year we are going to do a conference about the Nacala corridor in Zambia as well, and hopefully DRC, because let me, Mr. Moderator, share with you just very quickly. If you look at the distance, for instance, let's say Lusaka, if you compare it to Duba and Dar es Salaam, you will realize that Nacala is short. If you look at Blantyre as well, for instance, just Blantyre, for instance, Nacala distance is 1,080 kilometers by road. By rail is 989. If you compare to other ports like Durban, it's 2,000, and etc. etc. So clearly, Nacala is the shortest distance, but people are not aware of this information. Together with developments that took place on the rail side and the port side, we need to start exploring more the port of Nacala as it is today. Of course, there are challenges that we need to look at them from the perspective of the port. We need to increase more our productivity. We need to increase more in terms of efficiency. All of those issues are there on place. What must be clear is that the result will not reach if we don't work together. There are issues of the policy that Mr. Owana spoke about that need to go along. Again, the issue of the dry port in Chipata, considering that the rail line goes from Nacala up to Mchinji now, and there is some 24 km to be refurbished. It's really important to have the cargo that comes from Zambia. But if you want to look as well at the Copper Belt area, we need to, and probably, I don't know if JICA can also go along in this, which is the rehabilitation that needs to be, the new construction that needs to be made between Chipata and Serange, just to give a full option. Because like I said in my first intervention, basically, if you want to look at the Asia market, Port of Nacala is definitely the best option in comparison to other corridors. So want to thank for the opportunity to join this meeting. It was very insightful. It's clear that there are developments. We need to do marketing, but it's clear, and I want to take the chance for everybody who is attending this conference to come to Nacala. We have in Nacala very big shipping lines that call there frequently, like MSC, like CMA, like PIL, like Costco, yeah, UIFL. So those provide very steady calls over the month. So we invite people to come and see, first of all, what is Port of Nacala today? What is the improvement that took place in the management? Because definitely Nacala is your deeper, reliable, and cheaper option. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well done. Yes, we have that's more from the panel. The two gentlemen. The one in white hasn't said the word. I would like to give him an opportunity now. He has listened. He's a good listener. What is your take, my brother? From those who are sitting, the two of them.
Is it JICA?
No, not JICA. The last ones to speak now. JICA has spoken.
Oh, Nacala Logistics have already stepped out.
Yeah.
He was rushing for another meeting.
Well, thank you. So that was our last comment from the panelists, I think. But overall, in terms of marketing, I would advise them that Africast is there to make sure they transmit you. They publicize you. Africast does a lot of logistics and a lot of marketing. You have an opportunity that you have to make sure you take them to across Africa to market them. I think from my end, I would just like to thank the panelists, to thank Africast, and also those of our friends who sent in the questions. I hope we were able to touch. Some of the questions were actually comments for improvement. Thank you very much for your participation. And I think at this point, I'd like to hand it over to our Master of Ceremony if you have to make any more comments before we close.
There's a corridor that comes from Mozambique, South Africa, and more corridors from Namibia, Angola, and the DRC. These transport corridors meet in Zambia, presenting numerous trade, business, and investment opportunities for Zambian and SADC-based companies. Don't miss the train. Don't miss LandLink Zambia 2026, a transport and logistics conference and exhibition on 23rd and 24th of April 2026 at Sierra Resort, Lusaka, Zambia.
Thank you very much to the moderator, to the speakers. I just want to report that we had more than 26 questions. Not enough time to answer all the questions, but that is the purpose of the LandLink Zambia 2026 in April, so that we can digest those questions maybe into panel discussions and get some broader perspectives as people wanted to get more information. We just want to thank also the Ministry of Transport and Logistics for the coordination and support they are giving us as we prepare and plan for LandLink Zambia. We want to thank our partner, Zambia Development Agency, development agencies like JICA and the EU. We want to thank all the speakers from Nacala, from the Ministry of Transport in Mozambique, and the operator from Mozambique, speaking very, very eloquently on the topic and learning more about the Nacala corridor. But obviously that is why we have the LandLink Zambia, so that even Nacala can come and be part of the conversation. We've already started preparing for our next webinar, which is going to be held in February. What is the date again? 25th of February, and our focus for the next webinar will be looking at the Lobito corridor, also which has been making a lot of news trends in the media. So we will call upon some of you to attend and be experts in this next webinar topic. We want to thank Madam Irene from the ministry, and we'll also call upon you so that we refine some of the questions that people want to ask, people want to know. From the team from Africa, on behalf of the Chief Executive Officer from Africa, Mr. Chimono Mirenda, and every one of us who put together this time, we want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you very much for being part of this conversation. I know it's very difficult to sit in for more than 2 hours, but you gave it your best. We're very grateful. The report will be done within the next week, and it shall be shared with everyone that tuned in. With love from Zambia, from Africa, we say thank you very much, and see you next month, and see you in April. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best.
Leave.